your 5th pick over to Sinian, but it has to be something better in order to feel really good about where you're at. Taking a look at the bans, a lot of similarities, but a couple of quick differences is that Orianna was not banned 2nd by EDG, and he getting banned in the 1st rotation this time around by BLG.
And if we see a Cassiopeia, which it is not, one, does BLG elect to first pick it? And if we do, does EDG go with some of the new counters we have been seeing, which not only piloted by Monkey, but we've just seen across the league so far? Olaf and Nefiri have been the most popular answers going into this champion. Just does very well at being able to overwhelm her. Orianna's going to be the takeaway here, so expecting maybe we see a rise. It is instead going to be Lucian, so Lucian Nami, Lucian Melio. I've been very excited to see Melio back in pro play, but I also don't know if there's many champions here that BLG are going to choose that are going to feel very threatened, especially when you see Emilio this early on.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. No matter what I'm picking as EDG, I'm a little concerned. We gave Orianna over tonight, 7-0 on this champion, as mentioned earlier, 26.6 KDA, averages less than half a death a game on Orianna. I don't know, man. You've got Zyra Khan, you've got the ball delivery system, you've got the protection for Viper for no matter what EDG throw out here. I mean, I love the first half of this draft from BLG.
Yeah, also, in Tier 1 leagues right now, Orianna's sitting at 228 games with a 53% win rate. This champion has been one of the best, if not best in her role for 6 months now. So, it is definitely worrisome. And if EDG are going to play a composition that need to walk forward, like a Trundle, like a Lucian, I do not think you want to try to run forward into a Shockwave and a Xayah Blade Caller. That sounds extremely miserable and maybe an exercise in futility. We'll see if EDG can try to push the tempo. I think this is a game where they need to get the ball rolling early and they need to have other ways of being able to snap onto champions like the Orianna. And Lucian can do that, Trundle Pillar can do that, but there's less damage there. And you need something now from the solo lanes.
I mean, what are you picking here as EDG to kind of put this all together, right? You need to have some CC to enable things to be a little bit easier for your Trundle. I mean, maybe there's a world, does Sinian have a back pocket Sylas? I feel like you get a little bit of value out of Rakan and Orianna there.
Yeah, it's still tough. I mean, Sylas can be fine. And especially with Annie already taken away, I think just makes it a lot harder for this EDG comp to operate. I looked at top lane, and maybe this could be a Jace game here for ZDZ. Instead, let's just play a poke war, outrange the Rakan, the Xayah, and the Orianna, and make it difficult for your opponents to do anything. With Sion gone, I think it becomes much more palatable to actually try to play poke versus this team. Trundle can kind of be your frontliner if you give him Melio shields and all of the like here. But again, what is the counter pick? What are we using this counter pick for EDG for? And for BLG, I think you just need tanks, something that's going to lock down and slow the game. Things like Cassante for top lane definitely start to rise. And if we're looking towards jungle, I mean, you still have the Pantheon. I know we've seen that completely drop out of the meta, but Xin Zhao is also still pretty decent here.
Well, there's that Jace you talked about, so if EDG can be first to the objectives, you can soften up BLG a little bit. It's something that they have struggled with at times, is not only getting there first, but also being cohesive when you get there. So we're going to need to see ZDZ group up a little bit earlier with EDG and start to make things like that happen. You had also mentioned the Pantheon. You were just calling every single thing, and it does get locked in. It's been one of Shun's best.
All right, Sion's gone. Likely going to be Cassante here. It could also be Gnar. Has been a popular answer, or at least a matchup that people feel comfortable with. I'm not as excited about Vayne, mostly because we've only had 2 ranged top lane games for Bin. It has been the Vayne and the Varus, and neither one were noteworthy enough for me to feel confident about it. He's going to go for the Yorick, a much more standard counter, and I think one that makes it very difficult for EDG now to kind of play the game as we go forward. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see Zyra. I know Showmaker over in the LCK has played a lot of this matchup into the Orianna specifically.
I hope so. There we go. Heck yeah, dude. Listen, this is what we said earlier. Pull out your crazy picks. Go down swinging. If this is your shtick, Sinian, if this is what you are going to be remembered as a player with your debut, having some cool creative picks like this, go down swinging in a playoff series where it actually matters. And now we've injected some CC into this composition that really wants to run forward at you. I think this is a great pick.
Right now, I think Melio gets so much extra value. Being able to knock back a Pantheon or a Rakan when they go for engage is really nice. The problems that will arise here in this game is that if EDG are not ahead, they can really suffer. Just not having flash for Zyra versus Pantheon Rakan sounds like it could be pretty miserable, and they don't have clean ways of stopping BLG from running at them. If Pantheon plus Rakan jump, Melio can really only stop one of them from coming in, and then uses the ultimate to do something a little bit different there. Not also to mention, by the way, the Zyra matchup has not worked out over in the LCK. I think Orianna is still rocking a pretty high win rate versus it, and it's few and far between, yes, but I trust BLG are going to be able to pilot this, and this is kind of a high execution comp, I think, from EDG.
Yeah, it seems like they are making things really difficult on themselves, but the good news is they have their recipe. They've got the strong bot lane, right? And even though it didn't work out in the first game, that has been the recipe for success. It's always going to be difficult to make it happen against BLG, but they get another bite of the apple, Alk Battery. Game 2, EDG BLG.
Keep the faith. Keep the faith for our EDG fans. Already down one game here. And Trundle can be very strong, but again, just later in this game, Yorick, definitely very, very powerful. And if BLG get 2 objectives first, we are going to be very, very hard-pressed to find very much after that here for EDG. Last time, 4,000 days since we last saw a Zyra mid. That's crazy.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Like that is, yeah, Zyra indeed.
Thank you to, yeah, I forgot, yeah, roommate Ilya is a very big fan of Zyra, so.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I played with Ilya maybe twice, so I did not know that. Just the were ARAMs. Glad to see that roommate representation is here, alive and well.
Yeah.
We will see how this matchup turns out. As you said, this matchup has not gone particularly well for the Zyra players. What have you really seen out of it that has made it so difficult?
It's just the range, which did get buffed, by the way, when we changed Arcane Comet to be more damage based on distance from you and the user. Works a little bit like magic missiles for our ARAM Mayhem enthusiasts. But it's just really impressive. It's something that Orianna really can't deal with.
Okay, CDZ getting chased down by Bin here, and this doesn't look like it's going to go so hot. It'll be forced to flash away, so no flashes on either of our top laners.
Right. That's pretty dangerous, Yanni, because Jace is going to TP. Pantheon is going to end up in this lane, and I really hope the observers kind of pan towards top lane because the wave is in a really good spot. We're seeing a dive potentially here on bot side. Viper is half HP.
Oh, he gets bumped right into a traffic cone. Oh my God, nice flash from Xiaohao. The knockup is there, but it's not enough to save him. Xiaohao gets first blood for EDG.
Perfect. Yeah, Trundle versus Xayah. I'll take that matchup every single day of the week. Pillar is great. I think any kind of champion that has terrain generation on a basic ability is good. That's why I'm such a big fan of Anivia, and Trundle Pillar just gets to be one of those additions. So good job, already 1,000 gold lead, you're getting the ball rolling, and that's exactly what I wanted to see.
Yeah, and this is already so much better than what has been happening. They finally were able to get that strength. You get no assist from your bot lane, but that's okay. They were the ones who set that play up, and now the ball is in BLG's court because EDG could continue to try to make plays like these, boat race them early with what Trundle can do in the early game and taking a bite out of some of these AD champs.
But Shun on the backside, he does get double scuttle, so the advantage and the vision, really, really important for being able to set up something here. Uh-oh, leave.
He got rooted. Yeah, could be in a little bit of trouble. That barrier's down, so is the heal. Trades back as much as he can. Does have a long sword advantage for the moment, as well as that refillable potion.
Melee healing will also be pretty nice, but I'm not expecting Cozy Campfire to be Soraka Q, or Soraka W, so Trundle is pathing down again. Shun has a way of being able to answer bottom lane, but I wonder if that is really going to be his goal. Most likely just going to be covering. Leave.
He's got that barrier back up. He wants that last
kill.
Oh! Wow! Viper manages to find the kill. Jwei trades him out, but that's a huge up there for the BLG bot lane.
Oh, that's double summoner spells there. Pantheon is in the area. Can they really find On? He has flash. He's going to use it.
Yeah, but that traffic going is going to stop him. The super mega fire kick along with the chop out of Xiaohao means that EDG pick up another.
I want to ask Trundle what crime tastes like. He just took a bite out of it, and he's able to grab that kill for himself. Trundle's really strong, by the way. Already has the Phage. He's going to do his Gromp. He can do his Wolves, and then does he have a Trinity Force coming up soon? He can get himself a Sheen very, very quickly here. EDG, they're getting gold into Xiaohao, who in their playoff series was kind of a real backbreaker alongside Leave to get them into this position here in playoffs. Leave. Oh god, oh god.
Oh, he got exhausted and On was flying in from multiple screens away. He dashes, but Leave was able to step out. He has had this problem where he just is up a little bit too far, took a lot of damage for it, and forced a recall.
Just look at the disparity in the lane matchup already. I mean, Viper is now going to crest over in terms of the advantage, but he has refillable pot, he has double longsword, and a glowing moat. Viper has the better version of that. He's just got himself the entire Coalfields Warhammer here. There's been a lot of focus bottom side. I'm a little surprised to not see that there was at least one jungle gank sent top lane with both of our laners losing the flash. And I think another big thing here for Edward Gaming is Sinian's actually had some pretty decent control of this matchup so far.
Yeah, Knight hasn't really been able to get a discernible advantage, hasn't been able to move too much. We'll see if that continues. The Dragon is up, so we'll see who gets first at dibs at it. With Xiaohao on the top side, certainly not going to be EDG for the moment. Grubs are also going to be up in 1 minute and 10 seconds, so perhaps EDG have just decided maybe that's the objective for them with a Jace in the top lane and a Trundle out of the jungle.
All right, well, what else are we getting here? What else are we going to be able to see coming in? Because Dragon, not the greatest. I did say for BLG, if they're there first on an objective, I think it's really tough for EDG to get started. They have some poke. It's good for them to be able to walk in later with Jace and Lucian, but if Lucian's behind, that's a little less exciting from their perspective. And Zyra, you need to have plants already kind of set up if you really want to get anything done. Throwing down a Stranglethorns kind of dry is not really the position you want to be in.
Sinian not going to land that grasping roots. You can see that Xiaohao is in the area, wants to go make a play onto Knight while he is still able to be attacked. Swiftness boots for Knight, I think, is a really savvy pickup in this game.
You also went for Storm Raider Surge, which is another piece of tech. Doesn't have anything like the Arcane Comet. We've been seeing Leave, brother.
He got exhausted. He's up against the wall. He dashes away, gets knocked up, and Shun shows up for good measure, and he got that kill from downtown. And now the flash is there onto Jwei, and BLG take down the EDG bot lane.
And BLG are just running away with this lead now. They've completely collapsed whatever Xiaohao was able to get for himself. They're not going to get the Dragon, which is going to be as good as it's going to get for EDG, but Leave is really, really putting a really big stop to the potential for this team, which is disappointing. As a Leave apologist, I cannot make up an excuse for him in this game. He is just straight up getting outclassed versus Viper and On.
There's no shame in it. It is very difficult to be able to go up against the bot lane like that.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of shame. There's a little bit of shame when it's your fault.
Hey, listen, sometimes they just get the better of you. I don't think anybody would call you crazy if you said that Viper was better than Leave as a player. But
Sure.
it is sad to see, especially with the stakes in this match, elimination on the line here for either of these teams, the chance for EDG to shock the League of Legends professional landscape, going up against a player that he's admired so much,
ZDZ.
and he's just getting mogged by him. And now Viper and On have moved all the way up. The Grubs went over to BLG. ZDZ's on an island. EDG going to try to return in kind here.
They're
On the
TPing.
bin. Teleport going to be used by ZDZ, but is going to be interrupted by On. It's perfect. Bin onto the turret, trying to survive. Flashes away. The dash is in, and Leave is able to pick up the kill. And now it's time for EDG to start making hay on this turret, but they don't have any Grubs.
Whoa, no Sheen, by the way. Interesting. I mean, Hearthbound Axe, the damage is just there. Sinian and ZDZ are mid,
Oh, Shockwave. Always so low, but ZDZ able to back his boy up. Means that
90 HP means that Arcane Comet kills him there. So
True.
slightly unfortunate for EDG. They go even because of all the plates that they lost topside. Knight doesn't even lose his flash for that play. And you were able to cancel teleport and still get the flash out from Xiaohao, who just now finishes the Trinity Force. A pretty big important buy here, as I think now he basically has a lot more legs to be able to stand on.
Yeah, the problem is because of the way the objectives were taken, there's still a long time before these objectives come up, right? And you have this Trinity Force here that is sitting in the inventory. He's going to be sitting in the inventory for a few minutes, going to allow time for BLG to go ahead and get their items. As you see our beautiful faces, technical difficulties for the moment. We're going to be looking to get back into the game really soon.
Yeah, for everyone at home, our feed has gone missing. So we'll be trying to get that to you guys as soon as possible.
LNG
Again,
missing?
Sorry for the... No, a little bit better than that. So...
I was going to say, are we sending the feed to Nirvana? Does it deserve it?
No. No, I don't think it does. But, you know, when we're looking at the game, you're going to have a Trinity Force, which definitely feels a lot stronger, and the ability for them to do something. And just looking at the other lanes, I'm really happy for EDG that they got the Dragon. Because if they don't get the Dragon, this game becomes very, very tough for them to play out. And, okay, well, looks like we're going back to game. What did we miss? Okay, so we've got an Essence Reaver, which is fine. Very good for Leave. Can we play on the first items, considering we're now matched on almost all of our lanes? That I'm a little bit more worried about.
Well, Xiaohao is sitting right in this Tri-Brush. They're going to make this play. I see a lot of
Pantheon
pings
has
from
ult.
BLG as well. They're aware that this is happening. They're going to go try to make the play. Bin is going to get tagged up. Here's that Pantheon ult. They baited it out very wisely. Turn's going to be onto ZDZ. A little bit of damage onto him, but not too much. Jwei is able to keep him upright. And all it takes is a Shun ultimate, and the defensive Bin is successful.
They pull off the retreat there for BLG. Another problem that they will be trying to reckon with is anytime they go for a side lane play, they say, okay, does Pantheon have ult? Yes. Okay, well, probably have to get out of this very, very quickly here. It's a minor lead. Dragon spawns in a minute and a half, and I think this Dragon is rather important, not just for the fact that EDG might be able to Dragon stack here, but with where the items are, I feel like EDG are going to feel like they need to be at this objective, which personally I'm starting to kind of get towards the idea that they probably shouldn't be on this objective, but you have some leads in some of these lanes, so you could try to flex your strength there.
Right now, you have the only Trinity Force in the game. It really feels like you're priced in to make this fight happen because that item just provides so much strength. And it could be a great way to really extend this gold lead and put yourself in the driver's seat against a team that's not going to give you too many opportunities to do so.
Both of these buffs, by the way.
The flash.
Uh-oh.
Shockwave there onto Sinian. Sinian in trouble. The Strangledorn's going to go down. On's going to get knocked up. They don't really have the damage to be able to take him down. Leave with the calling. The protection is not there because of the traffic cone. So they're able to trade one back, but Viper gets in there and is dealing some big damage to the support and jungler of EDG as both teams back off.
That Dragon, or getting the blue buff, might seem like it's very minor, but it means that it's an upgraded smite now here for Shun, whereas Xiaohao still on one jungle pet. He will not have the upgraded smite unless he does his Grom, which you can see pings go out onto. EDG want to try to grab that before this next objective. It is likely going to be the case, but I like the fact that BLG are playing on really tight timers there. Now, Sinian has no flash going into this next objective, no Stranglethorns either. EDG, let's play to the other side of the map. Let's try to open up an advantage somewhere else. Get some of these turret plates on the other side, because you're going to be down like some kind of advantage going in. Shun even has ultimate. So, despite him recalling, he can just show up at this fight.
In the blink of an eye, he can drop that Grand Starfall and get in there, and maybe he just might. Looks like he's heading toward the mid lane a little bit here, so won't do so. He will instead make a beeline for top lane to try to get a kill onto ZDZ. Viper also headed up as well. EDG themselves looking to meet Shun and Viper, and Jwei is about to face check here, and he took so much damage, and down he goes, and now it's a 3v2. EDG leave. Yeah, that's right. You got to get out of there. Does BLG get the pick and even up the gold?
Jwei also threw the super mega fire kick in the wrong direction. Threw it back at his teammates. Can't face check. I think that needs to be Xiaohao. You need to allow for your Melio to peel for the rest of your team. More jungle camps, more information, and more gold being taken away by BLG, as small mistakes are what are going to kill this EDG team right now.
Oh, he dashed into the rune! He's dead! The spear over the wall from Shun! And it's another pick for BLG. They've been picking on him all game long.
It's a tough spot to be in. If you dash left, you're going into the Rakan and the Pantheon. And if you go right, well, guess what? Pantheon and Rakan, mostly on, is going to be on you. So, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Turns into a Herald here for BLG, which it seems like EDG are trying to posture. Were they able to see On, who just teleports back in? I don't think this is a real play, guys. Let's get our gold and try to find what our next plan of motion is right now. BLG are just getting advantages here in this game off of what I would classify as kind of silly mistakes from EDG. Just getting caught out, walking into feathers, dying for before objective plays. They got the dragon, which is nice, but it's only going to needle you that much more as this game goes on.
Yeah, I mean, you've put yourself in a playable game state against BLG. It's really not the easiest thing to do. And now you're starting to feel it slip away, and that means that the pressure is kind of getting turned up a little bit here. Shockwave going to go down onto Xiaohao. His Knight wants to keep EDG here. On is here, so is Viper. Looks like they might be out of there.
Lucian gets to farm up another Wid Wave, and we haven't touched on it too much this game, but if CDC is going to have 1,000 gold lead on his opponent, I want to see him use it. I want to see him be brought to this next team fight. Whether that is the Dragon or wherever that is going to be, I assume once we get something with a little bit more clear fight lines, we will actually have a proper fight. But this is not a position that I would want to be looking down if I am Edward Gaming. I'm up 2 dragons. The game is even, but it's all about the actual events of this game. With how Leave has played so far, I'm not super confident in their ability to do much more than keep themselves even versus Bilibili.
I'm not either. He's really going to have to step up and start making some good plays. I mean, you take a look at the build that he's got here. He had to go get some heal cut as well, take that early pit stop, and you know, his build is, yeah, I'm a little confused by that too. I think, I don't know, I wouldn't have done it personally. Play this champion a lot. I'm nowhere near as good as Leave, but I don't think that's the move. And you know, when you go the attack speed item second as well, it's just a lot of damage that you're missing.
I mean, he's trying to get himself to Navori Flicker Blades. I get it. It's just an 800 gold pit stop that usually you don't want to try to invest in. You're already down 500 gold, so when you do this, it makes the gold lead essentially 800 plus. I wonder if is going to have his Navori Flicker Blades. He does. Okay, so decent, but he also doesn't have the same boots. He has brown paper bags versus a completed plate steel caps here. So heading into this dragon, BLG, as long as they're first to the play, that's good. And it's not all doom and gloom for EDG. I know you have been kind of saying, okay, the game's slightly playable for them. I do think that Zyra is actually getting a lot of value, even if she is down 1,000 gold. She's facing against the Luden's Companions, Orianna, so as we just saw, things like that are going to happen.
Yeah, that was a little brutal. That was the ultimate caster curse right there. I feel like Knight could have even dropped the shockwave down and said, okay, you know what, I'm just going to try to kill you. But I'm glad that you brought up Sinian, because We are still waiting for this Zyra pick to make its intended impact. We did see him get an assist because dropping Stranglethorns in the jungle is pretty strong, but we have yet to see him really hit multiple members with that, really disrupt what BLG wants to do. And it's got to be in this Dragon coming up in about 20 seconds as Sinian is TPing in. EDG trying to control space here, clearing out a little bit of wards as BLG are going to walk up as well.
Really dangerous, though, because EDG have control of the river right now. They're trying to play on this mid-wave lead. You got to be careful, brother. Oh, that is breath of life right before this fight.
Oh, flash stun! Here's On, but a good flash away from Leave, and they turn it around and On. What a shot by Knight! Oh my goodness, Viper flashes in! And BLG slams the door on EDG!
Well, that play went from bad to worse in favor of BLG, as now they get the Herald to spawn in mid. They're going to take the mid turret. They're going to get this Dragon for free off of that play. Knight finding a 3-man Shockwave lined up with Viper Xayah. Really great stuff there. And on a game that is kind of on the edge here for EDG, they've now been fully pushed off the cliff here. And we're going to see a very similar state of play from game number 1, where EDG have some ways to play. They have the early objectives, and then third Dragon comes along, and the game kind of just explodes from there.
That's thing cheeky. Of beauty from that play. When are we getting this replay? I gotta see it again, Alk. That was so sick. That's exactly what you want when you've got an Orianna and you've got a Xayah, and now BLG are turning up the pressure up here in this top lane with Knight teleporting in.
That was beautiful. That also, I don't want to take anything from On, who baited out, or maybe was looking a little strong for some of that engage. Does have the ability to do so again.
Another knock up. Here comes Pantheon. Stranglethorn's gonna land on multiple members, but they don't have a ton of damage. Shun's able to get the kill, and everybody on BLG's alive. Leave is late to the party.
ZDZ's here. He teleported for this. What else can we get? We just teleported the only player on EDG that has a lead right now. He's gonna pick up the wave versus Ori. Can we actually see something of a fight? Because it's getting more and more apparent that Knight is a better Orianna player, and that he has the overwhelming goal lead over his opponent. And as we noted from the draft, Xayah makes it nigh impossible for Edward Gaming's carries to step up in any real fashion here. Shun doesn't have his ultimate, so they won't be able to find a flank play onto the Jace. And ZDZ is definitely playing with a lot of respect, but BLG are putting numbers here. They want this turret plate.
Now they're trying to focus the one member that's got all the gold on EDG. Do whatever you can to make sure that he's as uncomfortable as possible. You talked about needing to see ZDZ at some of these fights. That was the opportunity, that fight right before that third Dragon. And in the blink of an eye, BLG hit the go button. We've yet to see him make an impact in this game out of the top lane. A big reason why BLG are holding on to a 3,500 gold lead and have broken the stacking of EDG.
I'll give ZDZ some credit. This game is not his fault. He pressed tab.
It's not.
Oh, my bot lane died.
OP.GG says he's innocent.
Yeah, he's getting the innocent tag for this game. I don't know, Yanni. I'm a little sad because all of these early games have been fine from EDG. This one's a little bit more worrisome than the game before this.
No doubt.
This game is the games that I like. If anybody wants to be a big hater, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you wanna big up Leave? Look at this game." And you're like, "Well, all right, fair play." But he's had good games, okay?
If you think that Leave isn't that guy, just take a look at the NIP series that he catapulted EDG into Group Ascent. Like, yes, he's not having his best game. Yes, he's not having a great series, and this series means a lot. But that doesn't mean that this guy is not good at all or has no redeeming quality as an AD carry. He is quite talented.
I can see the HUD is becoming undone as we continue to go through this game. We lost player cams.
No.
The HUD underneath the map has also come back. Something's going on from the feed that we're receiving from the LPL.
It's not us, we promise. Our production team is sick. They do a great job. All right, player cams are back. You can see Leave is very concerned face right now about him being 2-4-2. not having this intended effect on the Lucian. But the good news is he is going to be building that Infinity Edge as his 4th item. If he gets there, you will have a lifeline, perhaps. He will do big damage. I don't know how he'll navigate fights around Xayah and Orianna, but he will do damage.
That's for sure. BLG looking pretty good. I think this has been a rather slow-rolled series for them, but they're going to take every kind of fight that they can, and the advantages that they're getting are very meaningful. Viper and On, this 2v2 has looked really good so far this series, and we always knew that Knight versus Sinian was going to be very Knight favored, but to see it in action definitely feels good. And Knight continues to be a world-class player here in the LPL, so he has been the player with the least amount of blame, I think, watching all of their series so far this year.
No oh my goodness, another beautiful play. We might not have had the replay of the last one, but that one is certainly fulfilling enough as Shun gets onto the back line. Jwei gets flashed after and goes down. It's a double kill for Knight, and Sunian's on the run, and he is trying to break some ankles. He's going to try to teleport away, and he will succeed. But it's BLG. Another big fight off the back of On and Knight.
And Xiaohao is just trying to say, I'm going to take some of my objectives. Maybe I can even get my red buff. If BLG are nice, it's going to turn into a Baron. Stray Feathers. Not tracked by EDG or well played by BLG. You can be the verdict of that one. Trying to get into this pit. Xiaohao does have flash. Even if he makes the steal, I think this game's tough, but I'm gonna look.
Let's see if you can get it. Shun is very low. It's secured by BLG. ZDZ will be able to find On, but Knight is right there, and the turn is here. Xiaohao will fall as well. BLG's gold lead has swollen to 6.6K. Their pockets are full of gold, and they're ready to finish off this game.
Let's see how this happens. So 3 feathers. He walks down. Maybe leave. Didn't count. I mean, but Viper can just flash. Why are they still up, by the way? That's more my question. This is a very long uptime, and then they just snap for this. Good job from Viper, well played, and EDG maybe miscounting the timer on which those feathers are going to despawn, but with that, it essentially breaks the game in half. It means that BLG are going to continue with their lead. They're going to have this bear, and they still have 2 minutes, so it looks like they're going to go and push on bottom lane wave, and hey, Orianna gets to keep the near flawless KDA. 4-0 and 6. You're already saying that he has a half a death on average every game, and he's on track to keep that alive.
I don't know how the hell you load up into a game of League of Legends, average less than half a death, and in this game, you're lowering that average. That's incredible. They're going to go after Bin here on the side lane because it's really the only thing they can do. And Bin's Goose is just a little bit cooked. ZDZ gets a kill, but BLG will push the mid lane.
They've got Baron, and they've got 3 grubs. The turrets are not going to be very long. As you can see, 3-item Xayah also, which we did highlight, is going to be a big power or spike in strength for them. Comes through. They're going to grab this inhibitor turret. They didn't get to push out too much on top side. Leave is probably dead.
Exhausted. Yeah, he got charmed up as well. The breath of life may only mean death as Viper drops down the feather storm. Knight shows up as well for a kill. Viper still alive.
Viper!
Sunian can't take him down. Nobody can take down BLG in this game. It's a triple kill for Knight. 7, 0, and 5. Medjai's almost fully stacked. He won't get there though because the Nexus turrets will fall. BLG go up 2-0 in the series.
He might be EDG's mid laner, but BLG are absolutely sunning these guys right now. 2-0 up in the series. Is expected to see them take a 3-0 here tonight, and they are on their way towards making that a reality and getting themselves a date versus JDG in 3 days' time.
And this game had a little bit more action in the early game compared to our first game, and a lot of that action favored EDG a little bit, but BLG's bot lane just really made the difference. Didn't matter that, EDG got first blood onto Viper. Viper took that personally, turned that all around, and BLG were able to stabilize the game and take it away from there. A really excellent job by them to keep it nice, even and calm, even though things were a little hairy early on. No pressure whatsoever. They get it done.
I mean, the game got broken open through bottom lane this time, and it's kind of sad to see, but also definitely still goes into expectation. Viper and On, we wanted to see them actually step up, and I think this series they've done a really good job. Game number 1, obviously, they were more of a passenger for what ended up happening in the game, but still had some nice outplays. This time around, they do it again. They have the Zyre Rakan. They win the lane off of slight error from Leave, and they pounce on it. They completely obliterated this lane and took away what was going to hopefully be a strength for this Edward Gaming team coming into the series.
Yep, we were like, hey, this is how they did it against an IP. If they can get it going against BLG, maybe they have something. They have had nothing in these first 2 games. You've had lanes that you would expect that you'd be so happy with loading into the game. We're on Ashe Seraphine. We're on Lucian Melio. This is great. And you know what? In game 3, BLG's probably going to give them Corki Nami and say, try to beat us again. And I don't know if it's going to happen. I mean, that is... They've thrown down the gauntlet, and BLG has answered the call each and every time. It feels like that WE win was, you know, set something in BLG's brains to just be like, we are in kill, destroy, kill mode. We are going to run the lower bracket.
Well, in all fairness to them, they are now on elimination for the rest of the tournament. They cannot lose another series anymore. And from going from first place in the regular season to potentially finishing 7th, 8th, that would be a colossal failure. And there would be probably, I don't want to say there would be roster changes because there's no way we're changing any of the 5 players on this, but there would be huge pressure on them going into Split 3 to try to reform and bounce back from that. Looks about right in terms of where we were. I think the draft strategy from EDG just hasn't worked out. We've now had 2 games in a row of R5 for Sinian, and while the counters might be working for the early lane, they are not generating enough of a lead. So if we are going to see EDG giving up first pick again, which I'm completely fine with, I need to see something a little bit different. And it's so weird because on one hand, I don't want to put too much pressure on a rookie player. Again, 21 days here in the LPL. You're going up against the best player of all time in Knight. Getting him a comfortable lane matchup is fine, but the other lanes are also exploding, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem. Game 1, you didn't die for the first 20 minutes of the game. Congratulations. But your jungler was getting camped, your top lane got exploded, you're not working. So you go into game 2, you're saying, okay, give me the Zyra, we're going to play it again into the Ori. Doesn't work. Doesn't end up doing anything. I press tab, cool, my bot lane's died twice at 9 minutes. How am I going to play the game? It's not really Sinian's fault, but at the same time, I want to see someone else get the ball here, because Sinian is not going to be the guy that is going to, I think, push this team forward at this point.
No, not yet. He's going to need a little bit more time. And to be honest with you, while I think that, sure, the idea and the theory is sound, we finally get to see it again. Oh, I watch it one more time. Oh, it's beautiful. That is League of Legends right now. But, I mean, I just don't know how you say, you know what? Yes, we will give you Zyra, and we will allow the best player in the LPL and one of the best players in the world to get his best champion this year. We'll just give it to him. Like, yeah. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think that even though it's a counter matchup, quote unquote, I would not give an excellent player one of his best champions. I'd expect him to be able to play out of any counter.
That's true. That's true. I think I can count on one hand the amount of games that Knight has been down gold at 15 this year.
Yeah, man.
And I'm, again, not expecting very much from a player who has been in the league for 6 years now versus a player who's been here for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
so,
and we shouldn't. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. Any reasonable person should be like, yeah, man, Sunian, just welcome to the league, my friend. Welcome to the LPL. Like, this is your welcome to the LPL moment. And
you have to get baptized. Everybody gets baptized by Knight at least once.
Yeah, for sure. There's no shame in
It's
it.
more surprising that his 4th ever series is a series against BLG.
A losers bracket series
a
in the
losers
first
bracket
round
series.
against BLG.
Yeah. Viper, very much MVP for this game.
Okay.
35% damage almost. I'm rounding up already. And he was the exact reason why this game went the way it did. So
Yeah.
not all that surprised to see it. Good job for him and good job for BLG, who absolutely need a 3-0. I think anything less than a 3-0, we are absolutely worried for this team. Not just going forward, but just where they are at as a squad. So good for them. Let's close out this series. I want to see strong stuff from our first seed.
Well, you saw it in this game. You saw it in game 1 too. Even when things don't go perfectly in that early game, they are just fine when the chips are down. Another big win for BLG. They've put themselves on series point. 7 out of 8 total votes. The referees had to give one over tonight, and honestly, I can't really blame them
Fair
for that.
play, man. Fair play.
Absolutely. He deserved at least one vote. That said, we're going to go and could take what could be our final break of the night here, because BLG are 1 win away from 3-0 sweeping EDG and continuing their lower bracket run. Will EDG have anything to say